hard skills is one side, but there's a soft skills as well. And what is needed in these days in this market is the ability to pivot, ability to context switch very quickly, ability to learn quickly, and willingness to learn, willingness to adapt to constant change. So if we have a lot of employees who are capable but not willing to change, the company won't succeed.
Lauryna, hi, welcome. Thank you for joining us. We're very pleased to have you here with us today. We're going to dive into some topics around the role that you play internally within Nord Security, specifically looking at AI and how that's kind of reshaping your sector, your world, your function, and what are some of the key challenges that come with that. So to kick off, would love for you just to introduce yourself and your role and what you do at Nord Security.
Yes, hi, hello again, and thank you for having me here today. It's a pleasure to be in this podcast. And yeah, my name is Lauryna, and I work for Nord Security, the cybersecurity company, global brands. Probably you know the NordVPN, Saley, with tens of millions paid users globally. And my role is at Nord Security is to lead the talent acquisition function. So I have around 32 people in my team, and we're scaling our products globally. Already we have around 2,000 employees in every continent in the world, let's say. So yeah, so this is me.
So I guess Nord and where you are at the moment, I understand there's been quite a spike in demand in certain markets, certain sectors. For somebody who's unfamiliar with that spike and unfamiliar, I guess, with the role that Nord plays in global economies, could you just, I guess, share a bit more about what Nord does, the product, the features, how it works, how it supports users as well as organizations?
So Nord is a private VPN, which is used globally across the world. We have around already probably 20 million users globally. And it helps to secure your network wherever you are, in a coffee shop, at work, and whatever. So basically, this is the main reason why we have so many users. As a security topic is not say it's like hygiene, I guess, during this I don't know, decade already, and becoming more and more important topic all over the world.
Agreed. I think it's very important now, more than ever, I guess, that we're secure in what we're doing online. But that's not easy, right? I think there's bad actors, people that are trying to kind of do the wrong thing. So I think companies like Nord are so important in this ecosystem that we're building online at the moment. We can't not talk about AI. So let's just dive straight in and look at AI. And I guess for an organization that's seen such scale, such growth so quickly, I'm assuming that AI plays a big part in what you do, both externally and internally. Could you just talk to us a bit about how that works? What are the benefits, the positives, and also what are the main challenges with AI, specifically at Nord?
Yes, definitely. I'm the HR person, talent acquisition person, and I face the AI from different angles. As you mentioned, from externally and internally as well. So what we've noticed right now, the market is changing. When the AI came into the arena, when this AI game started, we started to see the difference in the market. The market became more business-driven rather than candidate-driven. Why? Because companies started to work more efficiently. They started to implement AI in their processes. They started to rethink their workflows. And that's why we started to receive a lot of applications of candidates who were left jobless after AI came into the arena. So that impacted our work a lot, because previously Nord Security was receiving around 60,000 applications per year. After AI came to the arena, we now receive more than 100,000 applications per year, and we need to work with those applications. What happened when you receive more than 100,000 applications per year? The hiring managers, the people who are checking those candidates, they like, oh, they are good candidates, I would like to see more of them. And previously, my team uh, needed to show around 7 people to hire one. Now we need to show around 14 people to hire one. So the workload has doubled, and this is absolutely the impact of the AI.
Mm. And from an external perspective, so both internal and external, I guess, from a talent perspective, you touched upon this briefly there. But what are some of in that hiring process, what are some of the key things that you're looking for in terms of hiring people at the moment, from a skills point of view, from a mindset perspective? What is it that you're looking for to bring in to harness AI more?
Yeah, so basically, if we're talking about skills that which we are looking for right now to hire, it's the most important part. If we're talking about hard skills, this is of course AI basics. People just need, this is a hygiene. They need to know it. Otherwise, they won't be we won't have an advantage in the market, and employer won't have an advantage in the market without having those people with those skills, upskilled people. So this is a hard skill that is just a hygiene, I would say. But I want to mention one thing. Hard skills is one side, but there's a soft skills as well. And what is needed in these days in this market is the ability to pivot, ability to context switch very quickly, ability to learn quickly, and willingness to learn, willingness to adapt to constant change. Because despite that you are capable, you might not be willing to do it. So if we have a lot of employees who are capable but not willing to change, the company won't succeed, because they're, they're floating. They're good what they have. So basically, I would say there are two things: soft skills and this hard skill, which is definitely the hygiene. This is AI.
Yes, I fully agree, and we see that with lots of our partners and clients too. Is that kind of that split that you need to kind of balance, which is technical people. You need them in your business. People that understand prompt engineering, building agents, etc., LLMs. But often those individuals don't necessarily have the commercial knowledge or the kind of softer skills, so to speak. How do you support those individuals, those people that you need from a technical point of view, with developing their softer skills? What are some of the things that you do in order to help them pivot, navigate, and not just kind of sit in a basement coding all day, which we hear a lot as an analogy?
Yeah, so I was facing this challenge in my team. Well, what I understood that my people are struggling with those old-fashioned way of working, because we have twice a higher load, twice a higher CV number, and they're working with the same ways. So what I understood, that I need to do something. And first things first, that I realized that I need to be that example and show how it should be done. So I started to learn AI literacy. Currently, I'm the student in Turing College, by the way, and I'm learning as well and encouraging my team to do it as well, because long life learning is the key to success in this fast-paced environment. So what I started to do, I showed them that if I can, maybe you can also do it. And I divided my teams into a couple of small groups. The ones who would like to advocate for AI upskilling, who would like to be ambassadors, There was a small group people who were like, okay, I want to try. And the others, the bigger part actually, they were like, okay, we're good with what we have. We will see. We don't believe in this bright future. We need to gonna do a lot of work ourselves. So what I did, I divided those two groups and I tested them. I gave them the same work, and one of them were upskilled with AI literacy. Other ones, they were working as they were done previously. And then we checked the data. And the data showed that people who are upskilled, they are much more efficient, they are not so tired, they are able to do a lot more things, despite that they have still a lot to do. And then what happened with the other group? The other group just realized that, maybe I would like to try as well. They became engaged as well. And they asked me proactively, Lauryna, maybe we can try as well to test this tool. Maybe we can try to do something with AI agents. Maybe we can start learning curve, upskilling ourselves. Maybe I can enroll into some kind of a program. So that was victory for me, and I'm happy to say that 99% of my team already has the right skills to start their journey in the AI environment.
Victory. Nice. Glad to hear it. That's a really interesting perspective on bringing in AI tools to support your team development and giving them the kind of the platform and the freedom to experiment and use tools in the right way, and including soft skill development too. I guess for some organizations that maybe are bigger, have thousands of employees, have legacy systems and processes in place, what we see often is that we encourage our clients to help their employees to experiment and to test and to learn new tools, etc. But there's often this need to do that in a contained environment. So you're saying on one hand, go and play and innovate with tech and AI, ChatGPT, Claude, whatever it is. On the other hand, don't do anything bad with our customer data. Is that a challenge that you also see within Nord specifically? And how are you navigating that at the moment?
To be honest, I think that my company is in a very good position right now. We are in a scale up. Nord Security considers itself as a scale up, but we also belong to a Tesonet group. And one of the group's companies is Nexus AI. They are creating the platform for everyone to play and experiment safely with the data, which is very sensitive, especially when we're talking about HR data, people data, money, I don't know, something like business secrets. So the platform we're able to use is absolutely secure. So that's why we are able to experiment a lot and do a lot of work with AI agents, because AI agents helps us a lot to save time with that sensitive data, to be able to analyze it. So this is the way we work. So I guess this is our way of working. The smaller companies who does not have such possibility, I would say they would need to have a good regulation internally. They have to give their employees the rule set of rules, how they need to use the internal data. Because what I realized that a lot of employees, they are doing mistakes not intentionally. They just don't know how to use it. They just don't know where to start. So if the company could have the set of rules and they give the direction to their employees and to follow up with them from time to time, it might help to avoid this kind of situation, to leak some sensitive data outside.
Nice. And I think that's a really sensible approach, and it's great to hear from leaders in secure information sharing and protection of activity and what we're doing online. So thank you. Going back to upskilling specifically, you mentioned, so there's a difference, of course, between bringing new talent in and then upskilling your existing talent, and the two are connected, but they're slightly different in approaches. You mentioned that you yourself are upskilling at the moment, which you're in college, which is fantastic. What are some of the things that you've seen help you upskill in terms of peer-to-peer learning, community learning, that knowledge sharing, that testing, that playing with the tools, using projects? I'd love to hear a bit more about how that's working for you, and what are some of the challenges and some of the positives in that experience.
You know the saying, afraid of missing out. So that former feeling for me boost and encourage me to go into the communities who are like-minded people. So basically what helps me is to look for people who understand the things similarly, who are lifelong learners, and they are willing to upskill. So that helps me. And also, of course, the approach of the providers. So if I'm purchasing the tool, if I'm purchasing the system, if I'm purchasing the, I don't know, the package of lessons, I appreciate when the providers are trying to be flexible and understand my personal needs. Maybe I already have basics and I want to deep dive. And it's very nice when the provider already ask questions and gives an ideas, how can I do it? How can I make it quicker? How can I learn quicker in the specifics that I need personally? So I would say the flexibility and ability to show what's in it for me from the provider perspective. This is a very important part. The engagement part. So yeah, I guess so.
That's really useful to know. And I think for organizations looking to partner with companies to help them upskill their employees, I think something you touched upon there is really important. It's understanding the context of not just the employee, the function, but also the sector. So what we often see at Turing is that if we can build into our programs activities that bring the learning back to the world of the learner, that is so much more powerful than it being a simulated world where you don't really get to touch and feel what this is like in your day-to-day. Is that kind of what you're alluding to there? So having projects that people can kind of say, right, I've learned the skill and now I can kind of apply this to something in my day-to-day.
Exactly what I need today, or even better, I would need tomorrow. Then I'm gonna be innovative. My employer will be happy. Look, this person just knows what to do already without even asking, you know. So this is like thinking upfront to be one step further. So yeah, I guess this is a very important part.
Let's talk about measurement and impact with regards to training too, because I think it's one thing to say this is kind of what we need, and we're seeing the benefits from the individual's perspective and the skills they're learning. When you upskill in AI literacy, for example, how do you measure the impact and the return on that investment? It's a pretty big, challenging question to answer, and you might have an answer, but it'd be good to get your thoughts.
You know, I work in talent acquisition, and talent acquisition as an industry, as a role, it's very data driven. So everything should be, must be, and is measured. So I know how to measure it. And before I jump into the topic, I already know what to expect. So before we started to implement AI upskilling, I knew what I want to reach, what goal I want to reach. And we had it and we reached it. So basically, my goal was to help my internal team to succeed and make work more efficiently. And the second goal is to help my business to succeed with that, because I guess it's the most important part, if we can say so. So what happened after I upskilled myself and my team, and hiring teams as well, who participated in the hiring processes, we managed to save around 240 hours per week of our people work. What does it mean? It means tens of thousands of euros if you're talking about business perspective. So tens of thousands of euros per month just saved because the AI literacy came into the game, okay? So, and from my team perspective, the efficiency part, after my team became AI knowledgeable, we managed to hire 30% more people with the same amount of recruiters and the same time frame, which is crazy. I mean, you have exactly the same set of people, but you are able to do more, and you can save time and save money. How cool is that? So I guess that this is definitely measurable. And every business leader, every manager, every team leader need to think upfront, what's in it for them? What's the return on investment? And aim for this.
I'm glad you mentioned leaders, business leaders specifically, because I think you're probably quite unique in your approach in terms of leading from the front, doing the learning, upskilling yourself, and then starting with your team and then building out to the wider org. I think that's powerful, but I think it could be quite unique. So with regards to leaders internally at Nord, are you seeing pushback or challenge in terms of leaders being willing to upskill their teams? Or is there a positive sentiment towards AI literacy and giving people the opportunities to learn? And I guess with a business like Nord, it's, I think, because you are a scale up, as you said, there probably is more of a positive attitude. But it'd be good to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, I would say that our leaders are really willing to have their people skilled in AI field. What I see as a challenge right now, that as a multi-product company, in our product portfolio, we have different products of different maturity. So we have Saley, which is our startup in the scale-up. We have NordVPN, which is already the matured product. So in the startup area, we usually, we are scaling, we're hiring a lot of people, we need it like right now and right here, and we need them to do the things already like hired, and you already know what you're doing. We are not able to wait until you upskill yourself. So that's why if you're a startup, I guess it's better to have the person ready to go right now. And we are looking for ready to go people at this stage. But if we are at NordVPN, the more mature product, we are definitely see leaders that are willing to upskill their people. They are willing them to be able to learn and giving the time to learn, because we are very in a fast-paced environment. We work 24/7. Okay, not 24/7. We work a lot, but in general, we try to keep those couple of hours per week or per month just to learn new things. Because if we want to go with the market or be the market leaders, this is a must. We are not able. If you want to sit in the first row, you need to upskill yourself, definitely. Otherwise, you will be behind.
Talking about different markets and global teams, which of course Nord is a global organization, how do you approach upskilling, training, AI literacy in different markets where the mentality and the mindset might be slightly different because of culture, religion, whatever it is? How do you navigate that?
I think that currently, at this stage of our company's life, we do it a little bit spontaneously because we're still working on the strategy, AI strategy across the whole organization. And I believe that AI literacy, upskilling, AI upskilling, this is a part of strategy, definitely. So we're on the way of doing it. What we see right now is there are teams who definitely needs to be upskilled and to train accordingly, but it depends on the leaders if they see the same way. For example, we have our marketing department where our CMO, Toma Sabaliauskienė, she has the strategy to upskill their people, to implement and adopt AI as much as possible and where it's possible. In other teams, it might be possible or might not. We don't know it yet. We are trying to learn that curve and to adopt it. In my team, I realized already a year ago that this is a must. And as a leader, I'm taking the lead, I'm taking that flag and going and trying to learn and upskill my people. So I would say it's a little bit chaotic still, but we are on the right path.
Okay. Yeah, I think it's difficult for any organization having all these dispersed teams that have a different style of learning. But I think your point earlier on in the conversation around jumping in, experimenting, using the tools, that mindset, I think if that's encouraged in all markets, I think that's a really powerful thing because you start to see pockets and the snowball effect of kind of elevating that AI literacy across the board. So I don't think anybody is nailing that at the moment, but I think that experimenting type approach is a really good way of trying to get there. Looking ahead, what's next for Nord? Because we've talked about the rapid scale of the company. It's fast paced, fast moving, the sector, AI, all the tools that are happening. What are the next kind of 1, 2, 3 years look like for you as an organization, but also in your role in terms of navigating the world of AI and that bridge between AI and talent?
Yeah, so I guess that it's not only for our organization, but for the whole organizations that are willing to be up to speed, is to get that AI strategy in place. Because without the strategy, you are risking to have your employees not skilled enough, and then you are risking your business to not, to lose the game. So this is all connected. So I guess that having that strategy, and in my terms and my team, this is exactly the same story. I need to adapt and see what AI brings us today, tomorrow, to read, innovate, experiment, as you said. And our probably the goal for upcoming periods would be adopt maximum AI agents. Otherwise, I believe that we might get slower. So AI agents are our next thing to do in upcoming periods.
Yeah, we can't not talk about agents in a podcast about AI, right? It's a hot topic. It's right at the top of the curve. I don't think companies really know what they're doing at the moment. I think people are deploying agents and they're just letting them run loose. From a talent perspective, I guess it's a really interesting time at the moment because what you could see in the next 5 years is a strategy that needs to cater for not just human resources, but also agentic resources. Is that something you're seeing within Nord, where you have to almost have people that can manage agents or develop and skill agents?
Yes, I'm trying to imagine myself like managing AI agent instead of employee. So I guess this is definitely the future. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but I'm sure that I need to start thinking about it. and prepare for that. Especially for some roles, some, I don't know, jobs that are really need a lot of human input in terms of administrative work. And in talent acquisition and HR, we have loads of administrative work. We can actually make the AI agent do it for you. So we need to learn how to navigate those agents, how to make them feel like employees, and just trying to understand them like they're our employees, because I guess this is the future. I'm not saying that the people who are working right now won't be needed. They will, but they will do different things, different tasks, more soft skills required tasks, let's say. So basically, yeah, this is my answer.
Which goes back to our initial point around bringing technical people into an organization, but then giving them the softer skills to navigate communication and visualization, storytelling, stakeholder management. I guess a phrase that gets banded around and said a lot at the moment is that the human in the loop, or I guess the need to avoid outsourcing our brains. Philosophical question, but are you seeing that happening within Nord, where people are almost becoming too reliant on the tool? And let's say, using ChatGPT and just copying and pasting an email straight into a piece of comms, and it's, it looks clunky. Is that something that you're seeing, or not too much?
Currently, probably still yes, because we're still learning. This is the learning curve. And after we get the results, we get the feedback, and we see, no. So I can't rely. I need to think. I need to use my brain as well to make it even better. So basically, this is a learning curve. But what I see right now, yes, we already are dependable on AI tools like ChatGPT, but of course we also depend on Slack channels. So we depend. My team depends on LinkedIn because this is our main working tool. So yeah, we're depending on technology, and that's okay. We don't need to punish ourselves because of that. We need to learn how to use it properly and how to make it work for you, not instead of you.
I could not agree more with that statement. I think it's a really nice way of encapsulating this moment that we're in, which is AI and agents. There's a nuance. ChatGPT, Claude, etc. They're tools. They need to be used in a way that it's like using a tool. You're not replacing your thinking, you are supplementing your thinking. And that's something that Turing College programs that we deliver helps to implement that way of thinking. And it's not easy, I think, because you can just become over-reliant on tools, but you've got to look out for hallucinations, the M dash within emails, etc. So I think it's a challenge that everybody is navigating at the moment. How do you keep the human in the loop, teach the right skills, the right prompts, etc.? Because that's how you get the most from these tools, like any tool. Looking ahead to the future, I think what we're seeing is there's a bit of trepidation and hesitancy in the market within companies where people are worried about their jobs, and they are worried that AI might replace what they're doing now. Is that something you're seeing internally at Nord with this rapid scale? And also looking ahead to the future, how do you see that playing out? Is that going to be the case, or is it not, in really simple terms?
Yeah, so I guess so. And yes, I see that especially in my team. A year ago, when I started to talk about AI upskilling, I got a lot of resistance. People like, no, we're good what we have. Everything is okay. We have good processes set, so we don't need anything. We're good. And then it took time for me to convince them that they're not going to lose their job. Their job is going to change. But it's going to be in a better way. They're going to be upskilled. They will be more professional and with the ability to use hot tools right now, So basically, it took time for me to convince them that they shouldn't be scared. But to be honest, I believe that in 5 or 10 years, definitely some of the positions won't exist. But the people who are doing those roles right now, they will exist. They will shape themselves. They're not gonna lose their jobs if they will upskill right now. They need it to do right now. So it's a constant work for me with my team to show them what's in it for them. And yes, I believe that every manager needs to talk to their teams to explain what is actually happening right now. Robots are not replacing us. No, we know that. And I hope so that we know that. But what I've seen right now that is there's fatigue around of that constant change. People are getting fatigued because they see a lot of things going on. They need to learn this, then they need to pivot, they need to context switch, yes, as we discussed today. So what I would suggest to every leader, or maybe every one of us, is to give us a little bit of time for ourselves. Just couple of hours per week, just to stop and learn new things without any stress of being kicked out from your work, of not being afraid of not finding any work. Just go with the flow. What's going to happen in the market tomorrow, we don't know, but we know what is happening today. And if we want to be in this day like ready for that day, we need to concentrate and give us a time to learn. So this is basically, I guess, that the main thing I want to say.
Give people time to learn. I think it's important. And I think something you mentioned there, which is really, really important, and something nice to kind of close with, which is, and it's a phrase we hear a lot and it's been used a lot recently, but something that we try to always keep in mind is, we don't think AI is going to take people's jobs. It's going to reinvent all jobs to a certain extent. And it's, to your point earlier, the people that are sitting in the front row, learning the skill, getting on board, testing that muscle, those are the people that will be in line to take new jobs and take new opportunities. And that's what we're trying to encourage with our learners and our communities.
With the right attitude towards learning, constant learning, and willingness of change. Yeah.
100%. Couldn't agree more. So thank you so much. Wonderful conversation, some really interesting thoughts there. And yeah, it's been really good just to dive into this and unpack what's happening with a company that's, in my view, leading the charge in terms of technology and AI and innovation. So thank you. Before we go, any kind of lasting thoughts you'd like to leave our viewers with?
Yeah, first of all, thanks a lot for having me. This is really a pleasure to be here and talking to you about this very hot and very important topic. But yeah, I just probably want to say that we're hiring like-minded people, innovative people, proactive people who would like to join Nord Security. Please check our career page. And of course, learn new skills, upskill yourself, be long life learners.
So hopefully you enjoyed that conversation. If you'd like to see more of this type of conversation, please subscribe to our channel. We're going to be diving into this topic on a regular basis with many more kind of industry leaders from different sectors, different worlds, different companies. So please do hit that subscribe button, and we'd love to see you here with us again soon.